What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Yes, it's been a long time since it's been me talking to you guys. Today I'm going to be reacting to my 2022 AFL Ladder Prediction, so let's get right into the video. Alright, so let's get straight into it. So on the screen you guys are going to see my predictions, and next to it you're going to see what the actual ladder was. So in 18th I tipped North Melbourne. Now most people did tip North Melbourne, so I won't take too much credit for it. But I tipped North Melbourne, so that I've got one so far. So I'll be keeping track of what I've got. So I've got one so far. In 17th place, I tipped Gold Coast. As I said at the start of the year, I did not think that they were going to be a team to challenge. I thought they were maybe 1 or 2 years off getting into the 8. Obviously, West Coast finished 17th as all their big stars and big players had retired. In 16th place, I tipped Adelaide, and it was the Giants. The Giants this year had a big downfall. I wasn't really expecting them to have a downfall. I predicted them way high, but they fell off. In 15th, I tipped Hawthorn, and it was Essendon. Hawthorn weren't too far off this position, but I actually had Essendon in my top 8. Now, that may surprise a few of you, but Essendon, they just had a shocking start to the year. I think they were maybe 0-5, 0-6. And they didn't have a very good start for the year. They had a few good games. Obviously, Sammy Draper repping the mullet and kicking goal of the year was probably their only highlight of the year. In 14th, I had West Coast, and this was Adelaide. So West Coast and Adelaide, they're two teams where I just thought Adelaide would be a little lower as they have been in previous years. I didn't really take into account the West Coast retirees, and I didn't think that would have as much of an impact as it did overall. In 13th place, I had Richmond, and this is a really bad prediction because it was actually Hawthorn. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess most people weren't really expecting Richmond to go too far this year. A few people had them in their top 8, but nobody really had them near top 4. And if you're not top 4, usually you're not in contention. And I thought this might have been Richmond's fall-off years with a few players leaving. In 12th place, I had Collingwood, which is another bad one. And it was actually Gold Coast who finished in 12th. So obviously Gold Coast improved, and I'm a Collingwood supporter, as you guys would know. But I just thought, I didn't see us rising that much, but I didn't want to put us bottom 4 because, you know, when you're a fan of a club, you really want to, push your club as far as you can. So I put Collingwood in 12th, and, well, they actually finished top 4, 4th, and made a prelim, and so that was a pretty bad prediction by me. But it's understandable at that. If I put them any higher, I would have just, copped it, and I guess next time I will just tip a bit more with the heart, maybe. Now, in 11th place, I had the Giants, and this was actually Port Adelaide. So, the Giants were a team where I just thought they would be outside the 8, like they have been in most of their years. I didn't think they'd have as much of a fall-off as they did. And Port Adelaide, well, when we get to where I put them on my ladder, it's not looking very good for me. In 10th place, I had St Kilda, and it was St Kilda. That's 2 that I've got correct so far. When I looked over this before I did the video to see who I've tipped, I realised that I had made some shockers, but this one was not too bad. Same with 9th. In 9th, I had Carlton. I thought I would get absolutely rinsed for this, but look what happened. My team kicks our arch rivals Carlton, and they finish 9th in the season. So that is 3 that I've got Bane on, and 2 in a row, St Kilda and Carlton. Now if we move to 8th, we've got Fremantle, who I tipped, and that is the Bulldogs actually finished there. The Bulldogs did play Fremantle in an elimination final, so I was pretty close with the positioning, but just wasn't correct with the team. In 7th place, this is where I had Essendon. I just thought this was going to be the year where they shot up and made amends for a few of their past years, and I thought that they would have risen to the ladder and gone a bit further. Obviously, they had a bit of a drop-off year, but I expect them to be contending near the 8 in the future. In 6th, I had Geelong, and looking back at what just happened in the previous week with Geelong winning the flag, I had Brisbane, Brisbane actually finished there. I had Geelong. I just thought Geelong, what happens is every season they finish top 8, but then nothing really comes of it, and then it's just over. And they win one final, or they might just go out in straight sets or lose the elimination final. I thought they were pretty much, going to lose the elimination final or only win one. And obviously that wasn't the case, as they now are the new reigning premiers. In 5th place, I had the Swans, which is where Fremantle actually were. These two teams throughout the year, I didn't know who was above who. It was Fremantle at the start of the year, then it became Sydney, and then obviously Sydney made the grand final and Freo only won one final. So it wasn't a bad prediction, but, you know, Sydney, they did just knock into the top 4 after having a pretty easy run home. In 4th place, I had the Brisbane Lions. So it wasn't too far off with them actually finishing 6th. But obviously Collingwood actually finished in 4th, which was happier for me. I was happy when I got that far off. I didn't care about me getting the Collingwood run wrong. But I just thought Brisbane, usually they're in the top 4. I thought they might win at least one final this year. Obviously they won 2 and they had to, you know, try and do it the hard way. Got smashed by the Cats, but that was probably expected. In 3rd place, I had Port Adelaide, and this is just terrible. I don't even know what to like. I had Port Adelaide. I know so many people did, but there's only so many times, unless you're at Geelong or Sydney, where your club is sitting up the top for a very long time. With Port Adelaide, it was about 3 years. Obviously, that doesn't feel like a long time, but 3 years to try and, you know, give yourself a double chance. You would want to win a flag. So I thought, you know, Port will be back up there. Not quite get a home final in the first week, but I thought they would probably make it to prelim final week and maybe grand final. In 2nd place, I had Melbourne. And I was betting on, again, they finished 2nd. So, you know, obviously Sydney finished 3rd and I had Port, and that was not the best. But with Melbourne, I just thought they're not going to finish 1st, even though I feel like they could win the granny. Again, I felt like the teams that usually finish 1st, they don't actually win the granny as often as you would think anymore. It used to be a lot more, but now it is definitely less. And obviously on top, I had the Bulldogs, and of course Geelong finished on top and had the easy win in the grand final by 81 points. And obviously they are the 2022 AFL Premiers. Obviously I tipped Geelong to finish 6th, and obviously with the Bulldogs as well, they only just finished 8th and choked a 40-point lead in the elimination final. So that is me reacting to my 2022 AFL Ladder Prediction. Thanks guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you want me to do this every year, react to my predictions, because I've enjoyed it and you guys have enjoyed it in the past year. Also, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for all the support lately on all the predictions. Obviously, I'll be back next year with the predictions, and hopefully my Pies can take it home. Obviously not, nobody else would want that. Like, who else would want that? But as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.